No, I think they should do you. I
You're
don't.
like Bob Ross. It's fantastic.
Hello, and welcome to Political News and Political Views. As always, no teleprompters, no cue cards, no idiot boards. We have no idea what's going to come out of our mouths. So, well, let's get started. This is Ryan Jones. He's our mediator.
When it gets wild, yes.
Yeah. Across the table from me is my adversary and good friend, Todd Schleiger.
Adversary. I like that.
Yeah.
We'll just put me on there as the instigator.
There you are, the instigator. Loyal opposition.
The man who makes my blood pressure go up.
Yeah.
Hey, what are friends for?
Yeah, okay, all right. Anyway, something I'd like to start off the show, seeing that you guys didn't jump in, I will. I was really extremely happy this week to see what happened with the Democratic Party. By comparison to the Republican convention or the Republican debates in 2016 to the Democratic debates, I had some problems with the Democrats on some issues, but I think for the most part, first of all, they had way too many people, both.
Well, in 2016, we had too many Republicans.
Yeah,
so
too many Democrats. I mean, come on, you know.
But now that you're bringing this up, I got a question for you.
Well,
go ahead, finish,
okay.
and then I'll come
the
in.
thing I want to finish is the fact that they have seen that the country is so far torn apart that the party has decided to come together. They are forming a coalition.
Who is?
Buttigieg, Klobuchar, the other Democrats that have withdrawn. Elizabeth Warren is still outstanding. But the thing is,
I heard
she hasn't endorsed.
I heard she stepped back.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
she has not
stepped back.
endorsed.
She hasn't endorsed anybody.
Okay, but you know, this is really nice because they're forming a direction to go in, whereas the Republicans did not. What I saw with Trump was name calling, no real logic.
But here's what I'm getting at. I don't think they're going to on a specific direction. I'm seeing the same thing that happened in 2016 between Bernie and Hillary.
Oh, no, I don't see that.
That's what I'm seeing.
No, because Bernie just said that if
all the polls, and you know me, I don't believe in the polls.
No,
but all the polls are showing that Bernie was in the lead.
Well,
and then Biden coming up. No, Biden. I mean, right now, here's what I see is going on. I see that they're going to nominate Biden because they don't think Bernie can win. So they're going to force the nomination to go to Biden. And they are doing this very strategically, in my opinion.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Well, you got to see this because what they're doing is Biden hasn't got all his mental capabilities. I mean, look at all the, as they're calling them, gaffes. I mean, the guy in Iowa, he's saying he's in Ohio. Last night on the stage, he points out his sister as his wife.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created.
Yeah, well, I think right there they couldn't admit to God, in my opinion.
Maybe.
But the whole thing is, I think the Democratic Party is steering it towards Biden on purpose, like they did with Hillary.
Well, yeah, the DNC's, even by their own words, is a corporation. So
yes.
When they're under no obligation to follow their own rules. But that said, what you really saw there was the coalescing of the moderate lane, and it did show a great deal of political discipline on the part of Klobuchar and Buttigieg to say, okay, it's right before Super Tuesday, I need to make an assessment here, and we will coalesce behind this one candidate. And then there was a great show of force. Comparatively speaking, they did that what the Republicans failed to do in 2016 when put in the similar situation where they had a candidate at the time they thought they wanted nothing to do with, and but they failed to coalesce at all, and they tore each other to bits. And Trump happened to be the last man standing when they were done doing that.
No, Trump tore everyone to bits.
Well, he
their
was a
fair
participant.
share, yeah.
He was a
Yeah,
participant.
well, yeah, I guess Christie and had
the rest of them managed. I mean, if the rest of them had coalesced behind a single single candidate, they would
Well, I'll tell
probably have
you what.
overwhelmed him, but they did not do so.
I'll take Biden's gaffes over Trump's lies. And if you count up the gaffes to the lies, I mean, he's past 16,000.
If you happen to be a Biden supporter, the good news for you here is so Sanders would basically need a majority. If they go into the plurality and it goes to the superdelegates, the DNC will have its way regardless, and Biden will just breeze through to the nomination.
Yes, but Biden brings a stability. Now, that's not to say that I have anything against Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is passionate about what he does. He really believes in what he does.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, Biden and Sanders, and I think the Democratic Party, are for the population. What you have with Trump right now, and worse, it's getting worse and worse, he wants everyone that agrees with the dear leader.
Let me ask you this question first.
Let me finish
Let's bring
first.
this right out in the open.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's plain and clear you have a strong dislike for Trump as a man.
You figured that out, did you?
Well, I just want that clear. I mean, we need to also look at.
Well, I'm not the problem here. The problem is, what is your standing with him?
I don't dislike the man.
You don't.
No. I don't agree with what he says sometimes, but there are some good things that are happening with his policy.
Okay. Go ahead. What good things?
Well, I mean, our economy, for one, has been really good.
Yeah.
Right now, we have the coronavirus, which is dropping our
Okay,
Dow.
good. And I'm glad you brought those two issues up because Trump decided that now, if you listen to him in 2016, we had what he said was a 50% unemployment. Could have been 50%. Now, he said that. The economy was in shambles when he took over. The economy was in shambles when he took over. Now, one thing that these politicians, both Democrat and Republicans, have to do, and us, once you're on camera and you say something, did you know it's recorded? You damn fool.
Well, there's
when you say something. Okay, so now
circus.
He wants to take credit for the economy, even though, apples to apples, Obama did equally as much. He's the one that got it started. Okay, the unemployment rate was going down under Obama. Now, if Obama could have done a third term, do you think he would have won?
No.
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 You don't think Obama would have won over Trump?
No. Oh, I didn't say over Trump, but you asked if he was running for a third term, do I think he would have won? I said no. And the reason I say no is because Obama's ratings were going down in his second term.
He sure as hell left office on a high note.
Well, that depends on who you're talking to as well.
Well, okay, getting
because
back to
Obama, and this is from statistics and talking to African American people, Obama let the black community down. At least that's what the community thinks.
I don't think he let them down. Is he didn't give them
what they wanted,
everything that he said he could. Which you have to remember that this isn't a dictatorship. You just because you say something doesn't mean you can do it. You've got
correct. I understand that.
Senators and congressmen. Now, it seems to me that
wait.
Trump,
let's finish this though.
Trump doesn't
are
seem
you
to
trying
want
to tell me that you're trying to say that the economy that we have currently is Obama's?
I said it was started under Obama. It was not.
I just wanted to clarify because this is Trump's economy.
Okay, but it's also Obama's economy too.
Okay, his economy.
He started it.
Okay. Once he left office, you give it maybe 6 months, maybe the max of a year.
The real
Then
question here
who
is
belongs to the coronavirus and the situation that we're in now?
China.
I'm not giving him.
And I got to watch that because I said China because I have family in China.
I'm not giving him the blame for the coronavirus. What I am giving him the blame for is he shut down all that what was going on that could have combated it. Yes, he shut down the offices that Obama had put in for Ebola. He shut down a lot of...
No, he got rid of the Ebola czar, so to speak.
No, he got rid of more than that.
Well, this is all still in place. These
And
are the
CDC
the Senate
and
the Congress have already stated that these were already in play. This isn't... Trump didn't shut none of that down.
Trump did shut it down.
No, he
yes,
took away...
Did. He took the funding.
So what I heard on that topic, now I didn't research greatly into this one, but that it was slated to be removed.
Yes.
It was slated, but it hadn't actually been cut. Nothing
was
had
still
actually
there.
been removed. So it was still there, even though left to its own devices, it would have been annihilated and gone forever. That did not happen, and so it was still.
So
there.
it's still there now?
So it's
Yes.
still there to be utilized. That now, granted, I didn't look very deep into this particular issue, but that was the report I read on it.
According to what was said today, that they were shut down and they could have, it would have helped out. It would have made things a lot easier. The cutting of the funds to the CDC and some of the organizations,
They were
that said,
still
was
there.
cut
They
by
were
Trump.
waiting. They were waiting to be engaged. They were not
No,
cut.
they said that
Now,
Trump had
right
cut
now-
the funding.
Right now, like Trump, when he originally brought up his comment, he wanted $2.5 billion, I think, for the
Yes.
coronavirus,
And the
COVID-19.
Democrats came up with $8 billion.
It wasn't the Democrats; it was the Congress.
It was the Democrats that came up with that.
Well,
Check.
I have checked.
Check again.
Congress came up with $8.3 billion.
Even Trump said on
With-
Saturday that the
He would
Democrats
take- Trump
Friday.
stated that he was going to ask for $2.5
Right,
billion,
true,
but he
true.
would take whatever the Congress allotted.
No, he said that Schumer came up with the 8.3 billion, and he said, "Well, I'll gladly take that." Now he
to him. It's
acknowledged
actually
that.
more. It's actually got an open end to it.
Yeah, well,
currently.
he gave
now it hasn't been
Schumer
passed.
half an ounce of credit for that.
Well, Schumer's
Right.
made his own mistakes
The point
recently
is-
over this,
Well-
on all this. I mean, Schumer's in deep water as it is now. He's liable to be sanctioned.
What? Because of what he said about the Supreme Court?
Yeah. You
Well,
don't
wait a minute,
threaten the
that
judges.
came from Trump.
No, that was Schumer. He's the one that's
I know what he
apologizing.
said, but Trump is the one that we're going to pack the courts, we're going to put people in there, and we're
all
going to
do it. Why
Yeah,
do your
Why?
dislike for the one man? You can't get past the man
Because-
himself.
No, I can't.
All right.
Trump
Because
says it's quiet.
he's the
You
one that
can't
says
blame
this
Trump
stuff.
for everything.
Wait a minute. He says this stuff.
does.
He's also the same one.
You are right. He does say this stuff because he says the quiet part out loud. He says because all the other politicians are doing this nonsense, and you're right. Packing the courts for
Well-
political reasons is highly dangerous. But we've
And
been
he
doing
really
we've
wants
been doing
that
this for
third one.
decades. Trump just comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm going to do this," and people are like, "Oh my gosh!" Well, he's just saying what everyone else has been doing. It's awful.
Just
but
like he
doesn't
was
care.
interviewing the judges for New York to get the right ones.
Look, Trump's
Because he-
appointed more judges than any of our current presidents,
Yeah.
all over the country.
Yeah.
And, every president that comes in
All
there,
right.
they do it.
They do.
Every president who
Gorsuch?
comes in does it.
Yes.
It just so happens that
Oh, yeah.
during
Okay,
Trump's
then
presidency, he's
explain-
had an
explain-
overabundance of them.
Yeah.
Explain Merrick
The man's
Garland.
got the luck
What
of a
about
drunk.
Merrick Garland? He didn't get a. That was Obama that you were trying to you're bringing up
Yeah, why didn't he get him?
because the Senate blocked it.
Who blocked
The
it?
Congress blocked it. Let me
Who
rephrase
blocked
it.
it?
The Congress.
Who blocked it?
Oh, you want me to say Mitch McConnell?
Yes.
Well, hey,
But that's their function.
that's their function. It's not me. I'm just.
Merrick Garland was
I know who he was.
liked by both Democrats and Republicans, where Gorsuch was it the Heritage Foundation?
Yep, it was the Heritage
The
Foundation.
Heritage Foundation, which is ultra conservative. When it comes to judges, I don't want to see that on Democrat or Republican because I bitched about it under Obama too.
They do it.
I don't care.
matter.
So-
The court system is not supposed to be political, and there's
You're
no
right.
question in my mind that Kavanaugh.
But you
more
don't,
so
you
than
don't believe.
Gorsuch.
You don't
No,
believe
I
that
don't.
You don't believe that if the Democrats had the same opportunity, they wouldn't put more liberals on that bench.
I don't. I think that they put in more.
Liberals.
No, no,
You
do
can
I.
admit to it or not.
no. I don't think they did.
So Dave, question
Ruth,
for you.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg I
As
thought
a
was-
liberal.
So question.
No,
Yes.
no,
Dave,
no.
question
She's
for
not
you.
a total liberal.
Question for
okay.
you then, Dave. Just to get a grasp on how you perceive the court. So Antonin Scalia, right? The man was a strict constitutionalist.
Yes.
Just absolutely strict. Like if it was justified by the founding documents, then that was the way you would go. And then the political analysis of that was it took a back seat if it was in the car at all. How would you rate him politically? Now he's traditionally rated as a arch conservative by many, but
Okay.
having actually spoken with law professors on the topic, the man
But what is a
is
constitutionalist?
is just heavily constitutionalist.
What is a
But would you compare that to? So separate constitutionalism, which would be a conservative viewpoint in terms that it is preserving something, but as opposed to what we perceive as social conservatism now, which isn't necessarily conflating with constitutionalism.
What is it when someone is so tied to his so-called maker? With Trump putting Kavanaugh and Gorsuch in.
No, I'm just trying to understand your perception of
Okay.
it. So specifically,
Constitutionalist is someone that follows
to
the Constitution.
Scalia,
So-
how would you see Scalia? Would be my question, in the context of what I've given you. It doesn't even need to be Scalia. I'm just using him as a framework.
Scalia went back and forth. Okay, but he looked at the issues. Now, if he had a conservative opinion because the issue warranted it, and the evidence pointed to it, then that's fair.
Okay.
I can live with that. Same thing with the liberal. They are supposed to be a hearer of fact. They are not supposed to be political or being watched by the so-called president.
Well, not only that, the Supreme Court is not to be writing laws from the bench either.
No.
But they
They interpret and uphold, yes, that's from
That's
the
their
Congress
job.
to the legislative to the executive branch. They are supposed to uphold them, interpret them, yes, hear both sides, but that's not why Trump put them in. And Trump said so. So if the man didn't, did he just say that because every time he opens his mouth, something comes out? Or did he really believe that? Did he pick them for that?
Sorry.
Now, the judges in
Got
New
a phone
York,
call.
he was interviewing them. He was not supposed to be doing that. No president is supposed to interview a judge to find out if, especially in
They
the
all
state.
do. That's how they put their list together. They go back through
You check
and find
their
out what their
background, and
background is, and then they all talk to him. You don't think
They
Clinton
even
talked
had the
to him when
American-
he put him in there? You don't think Obama talked to the one that he put in?
Yeah, but you don't say you will follow what I want, and that's
I'm
what
not-
Trump did.
How do you know? Were you there?
No, Trump
Then
said
you
so
don't know.
himself. Trump said so himself.
No, Trump made the comment. I know where you're going. You're going with this on abortion.
No,
That's where Trump
No.
says he
no, but that
wanted
was one of them.
but
That was one of
that
the
was-
issues. Yeah.
This is an issue that needs to be abortion needs to be put between the voters, not our.
Well, we talked
courts
about
and
abortion.
everything else.
Abortion.
I don't
is-
even like that subject.
Abortion and gun
say,
control are the two issues that will never, ever
be settled.
be settled.
They won't.
They cannot. In theory, they can be. In reality, they never will be.
There's too many people for and too many against.
Yes.
And-
And people won't abide by
No.
it. I mean, you can put a stop sign here at the corner, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to stop.
That's just a suggestion. The stop sign.
Oh,
that
the
is.
stop sign is
Yeah,
a
the
suggestion.
stop sign. It's just a suggestion. As a youth, it was squeal tires on pavement. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's say they did stop abortions in the United States, and there was
Would it hurt my feelings? No.
there was
Boy, this
plan-
subject
This
went
is
there was a
way
plan
over.
by
There's a
the
little-
Republicans.
Little robot next to me going, danger.
Get this on,
danger.
because they said that it was going to start in the states and then go up to the Supreme Court. So that was the plan.
Right.
Let's say that it did pass, that there would be no more abortions. What do you think would happen?
Well, we'd go back to the old school. Is what we'd
Yeah.
end up doing.
And
But
who else? Who
you
would
do
benefit?
realize currently, if Roe versus Wade was taken out of the equation altogether, okay, just thrown out, Michigan would be illegal to have an abortion
Okay, so
because that law is still on the books.
So let's put this:
Interesting.
when
I didn't know
birth control was stopped by insurance companies.
A lot of them. Well, that's the religious point of view for it.
Okay, all right. And then you've got religious, you got practical, you got economic, you got medical. There's a lot of facets involved in this. So,
I don't know. I can't do nothing about it. I can't have kids. Okay, let's just change the subject.
well, no, I mean,
It
this
does
is an
feel a
issue.
bit odd for us to be
This is an issue that
casting
the
judgment
Supreme
on this
Court
particular one.
is going to be very controversial on.
It
And
always-
they're supposed to be a hearer of fact. But when you have two judges that go in there, actually, is it more than two judges that have said, I'm against? First of all, I don't think any judge.
I don't think I've ever heard any of them say they're against it.
I don't. Yes.
Yeah,
they have.
The legal reason why Roe versus Wade is, the pro-choice movement so voraciously protects it is that, just speaking strictly, not even practically, but speaking strictly legally speaking, it's not on the firmest of soil when it was originally ruled. it was kind of fabricated is entirely the wrong word, but it wasn't built upon firm bedrock in terms
Yeah,
of precedent.
yeah.
And because of that, it remains legally vulnerable to attack.
Okay,
and so that is for something that is held in such significant regard, so it's such a core issue to so many people, to not have firm bedrock underneath it is always going to create a precarious situation that's always going to be a highly contentious one.
okay.
So that's where we sit.
I'm just going to bring this up because it's on YouTube, so anyone that wants to look for it, go ahead and do that. When Trump explained abortion at one of his rallies, do you recall that? Oh, yeah. That the doctor delivers the baby, and they wrap the baby up in a nice blanket, and then they bring the doctor brings the child to the mother, and then they decide if the baby's going to live. Now, it's on YouTube, so you can go ahead and look for it.
Wasn't that regarding the law that they attempted to pass regarding children who survived by accident
I
the
think that's
abortion,
what that was. It survived abortions.
rather than the actual description of an abortion?
That's not what he said.
I can believe that too. I mean, the
But
guy
I mean,
tends
just
to
saying
broadside.
something like that is asinine. But then that is murder. That's not abortion.
Well, abortion is murder
First of all,
to me anyways.
get your facts straight. This is why gun control is so bad, because the issue of they're going to come and take everyone's guns. Right. Well, that would open the job market. Now, whether they would get all the guns, that's just ridiculous.
How would that open the job market?
Well, you need somebody to collect
collector.
13 million guns.
Get a little badge.
Yeah, a gun collector.
I'm here to collect
no,
your
I
guns.
mean, come on. There's certain things.
Brings a new term to mean
Why
to
don't
the
we just
term
bring
gun collector.
why don't we talk logically about these, and maybe we can come to a solution. I'm not against gun control.
That depends on what kind of control you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, here's where I cross the line, okay? You get a lot of people who are out there saying assault rifles. First off, we don't sell assault rifles, okay? An AR-15 is not an assault rifle. That is not what the AR stands for. That's Armor Light. That's the brand of the maker of the gun. Yes, they look like military-style weapons, but they're not assault rifles to begin with. I mean, it's a semi-automatic rifle is all it is.
All I'm saying is this: it's not either or.
Right.
If we were to logically sit down, abortion, would it pass? I don't
Slide
know.
off
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
we don't
Let's
need
get
to
off
do
that
gun
one.
control, that's another one. But I think that we could come to an agreement if we didn't have these extremes.
I agree with you there.
Yeah,
Utterly.
I agree with
If
you on
we
that.
if we didn't have, I mean, one saying that they want to take away all your guns, and the other one says no, they want everyone to have guns. No, I mean it's not either one. But I think somewhere in the middle that we could work things out where everyone, well, the majority could win. You're never going to get.
We haven't only become more politically stratified, we've also become more geographically stratified in terms of urban and rural. There's a great example of it because it just came up organically. It was this fellow, he posted on one of the social media sites about he needed his rifle to protect himself for his family from rampaging hordes of wild boars. And people thought he was kidding and being sarcastic.
Well,
He
how
was
about,
not, because he was out in a rural area where these animals that were out and about. That he said, "Well, I need these to protect my family." So, but even candidate Sanders, even Bernie Sanders, had said at one point, he said, "I think gun control is more of an issue where you have to take into effect an urban versus rural stance because both positions don't understand the other."
Exactly.
But
exactly.
that is actually one of the simplest amendments that we have.
But
I mean, it's strictly states not to infringe upon. Plain and simple.
yeah, and like I said, I don't want people's guns taken away because there's too many people that do the right thing.
Right. I mean, you're even if we were to look at it as a society like the UK, they don't have guns over there. Okay. The criminals still get guns.
True.
Okay, even if we take all the guns away, the
Yeah.
criminals are going to get guns. Matter of fact, it wasn't too long ago I heard about some guy who used a 3D printer was making guns
Yeah. Yeah, I heard
that actually
too.
work.
Yeah. Now,
So the criminals are going to find a way to get guns.
Going back to the issue of the judges, when a judge comes in and says, I am for this, how can you be an impartial hearer of fact if you have an opinion that you are...
Because he's a human, or he or she is a human. We all have our opinion.
Then you
the judge
don't-
isn't supposed to put it in there. Neither
Correct.
are our politicians.
Right. Now, I can live with the politicians doing that because, one, it helps bring in money. I mean, they sell their opinion for what they can get. Come on, let's be real.
Well,
Your abortion, either way, you'll get money. Gun control, really, if you're for it or against it, somehow you're going to get money. Now, for that reason, that's hypocritical. But I can understand why politicians do it, but not our courts. Our courts are something that should be pristine.
they
And
should be,
when
but
they
they're
are
not. I can remember as a kid, when I walked into a courthouse, you were always in awe.
Yes.
But nowadays, everybody who walks into a courthouse now, they're just meek and they're like, what's going to happen to me now?
Well, when you have a president that insults judges,
Oh, we have senators, before you even go there, they're all insulting judges, okay? I don't agree with it. The judges should be left out of it.
and they should not be political. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Well, first off, the judges have to be
Be what?
neutral. They
Yes.
cannot claim a party side or anything like that. They can't even raise money for their campaigns.
I agree.
Okay? But no matter what, they're human beings. They're going to have an opinion. Like you mentioned with Anton Scalia.
Scalia.
All right. He wrote an opinion back in 2005 that stated the people's grand jury was the fourth branch of government. That was beheld only to the people and not to the other three branches. We've gotten so far away from that. You know, that's one of the judges that I actually respect was Scalia, because he was a strong constitutionalist. And what we have now, I'm not too sure on, because they've actually tried to create laws from the bench already too. You know, they were asked, and I'm not homophobic or anything by any means. I don't consider myself a racist or anybody like that, because I just believe if we cut ourselves, we all bleed red. And we all put our pants on the same way. I don't care if you're a male or female, you put one leg in at a time. So, but they were given the case on same-sex marriages. Okay? Don't matter to me. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But the whole thing is, they ruled that it was constitutional for a man to marry a man, or same-sex marriages were ruled. That changed the laws in all the states. Okay, all they did was state that it was constitutional in order to do this. There was actually no laws changed. But everybody took that ruling and said that's the new law now. But yet no states ratified that law that I'm aware of. So this is where I'm saying that they shouldn't be making laws from the bench. That's all I'm saying on it. They're supposed to interpret the laws
agree.
and give opinions only.
So we agree on something. Ain't that something?
Every once in a while we do.
No, it's just our court system. When Trump says the things that he does, and when I was coming in, I was hearing something that may come back to bite him in the ass.
That you hope bites him in the ass. This man, nothing's bitten him in the butt yet.
All right, maybe I did.
My favorite analogy someone's used is he's
Okay,
a mud monster.
they've
He's
come
already made
after-
of mud. You throw mud at him, it's just more mud.
I mean, he's coming
Teflon Don.
out. He's coming out with more on. They're going after Hunter Biden again, and so he's bringing up the same.
That's not necessary. I mean, I'm sure he has his
He's got his
talking
henchmen
points
doing.
in there.
No,
But I think this is the DOJ's doing, Department of Justice.
no, this is
I think-
Ron Johnson that's bringing it up because Trump is using. See,
I
what-
know you can't go through without blaming Trump for something, but
Okay,
at this point
okay,
here, we need to
look at-
actually think it's the Department
Okay.
of Justice, not Trump.
that
Because
is-
you're going to be so disappointed when the man
the
gets
Department
reelected again.
of Justice is Trump.
No, that's
Bill Barr is a henchman of Trump. Bill Barr is a henchman of Trump.
Henchman.
everybody
great
that
word.
Trump has appointed. You think is always for Trump. Okay, I would like to think that there's some justice in this country somewhere.
To be fair to his point, Trump does have a tendency to surround himself with loyalists.
Yes, he does.
He values that quite highly.
Not only does he have loyalists, but he's also found the system of having interim people. By having interim people, they don't have to answer to Congress because they don't go before Congress.
You know what I think? Every president who comes in, it doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican, I think they ought to say, you worked, all right, we're going to use Trump. I know you don't want to do this, but Trump should have come in and said, you worked for Obama, you're out of here. You worked for Obama, you're out of here, and put his own people in.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Every administration should do that. That way they don't have to worry about the spies that are in there.
Okay, all right. A lot of those people that worked for Obama also worked for Bush.
Like I
also
said,
worked for Clinton. Also, they were career people.
I don't
Trump
care.
wants
You wouldn't
minions.
have this. You wouldn't have
Trump
this issue.
wants minions. He wants
Every businessman wants their minions. Okay.
Yeah, but we're not in his business. When he was in business, all they did, he would look out the window, and it was raining outside. He'd say, "The sun is out."
Do you expect him
Not
as a business?
in the government. Maybe in his business in Trump Tower, he can be
You can't get
dear
past
leader,
Trump.
but not in the government.
A businessman is always a tyrant in his own
I don't give a
enterprises.
damn.
No,
He's
it's
a
appropriate.
president now. If you
That's
didn't
what
want to be
I'm
president,
not saying in terms of tyrant.
and
I'm
then he's
supporting
got a
your
white
point, Dave.
supremacist behind him, pulling the strings. I don't even think
Who's
Trump.
the white supremacist now?
What? Stephen Miller.
I don't. Oh,
I don't even believe. I believe.
all right, I know.
I believe that half of
no
what
matter
Trump
what
says
we
comes
say-
from Stephen Miller or Sean Hannity. Oh yeah, who was he speaking to today?
Lord.
Or
Oh,
last night?
he absolutely does listen to Sean Hannity.
Oh,
yeah, he does.
And Tucker.
I'm sure he listens to Rush Limbaugh too.
The rumor is that
Yeah, those are the people that we need to listen to.
The rumor
Sean
is
Hannity?
the only programs he'll actually sit through are Tucker and Hannity. Don't know how true that is, but that's the rumor.
There are good people out
Tucker
there.
Carlson?
He doesn't
Yeah.
listen to them because they don't say what he wants. And Friday and Saturday were good examples of it when he got out there and the doctors came right behind him and said, "No, that's not true. Oh, the people are getting better. Oh, there's only 15, and they're getting better."
Well,
There
I
were
will
60
tell you this. I will tell you this, and I know this for a fact. Okay, the news right now currently is not reporting all the truth on the matter.
And Trump is.
I'm not saying that either.
Oh, that's good.
All right, we're what, 95,000 worldwide that are infected
World
right
Health
now.
Organization said it's 3.4
I'd have to look,
a
man.
death rate. And
Oh yeah,
Trump-
3.4%
not
death
talking
rate.
about
The death
that,
rate went
okay?
up.
And Trump said no, it isn't.
Yeah, I know. He's trying
That's
to-
his hunch.
I know he's trying to say that it's around the same as the influenza. But worldwide, we have right now currently, I think it's 95,000 infected. But the media and everybody else is not reporting the 50,000 that have gotten over the coronavirus yet.
Well, first of all, a lot of them we don't know
So-
that they had it. Now Trump says, "Oh, they had it and they got better." Well, how do they know? I mean,
Trump,
they-
that's common sense when you say that. Anybody,
Trump has no common sense.
again,
He has Trump sense.
well, his Trump sense has got him in a position.
Trump sense.
like
His
Spider-Man.
Trump sense, yeah. His Trump sense has got him in a position a hell of a lot better than us. But what I'm getting at is the media is only reporting the bad part of it because that's what gets them their ratings. Okay? And I think Trump, and whether you agree with this or not, I think
don't
Trump
agree
is
with
is instigating wherever he can because
Oh,
he keeps
yes.
himself in the media.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
If he can keep himself in the media, he's getting attention, and Trump likes attention. He likes to be the front.
You remember when
Well, let me see.
when it was Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? They were at each other's throats there for a brief moment, and then Trump, for
runs.
no reason at all, just like runs in there and just starts throwing chairs at both of them. And then of course, they both align against him. It's like, why?
Like I said,
What-
he
what
wants
sense
to
of-
have the
other than-
attention.
they're not
But
talking
either
about me.
way, no matter
Then
how
we
you
get
look
'em.
at it.
Is Trump sense the same as alternative facts?
Well, no, that's the media's way of lying.
Tell them where alternative facts came from.
I know who said it. I already know who said it. I had to say that because, I mean, the media has been lying to us too. You think they're telling us the truth all the time?
I'll agree with that, but I don't.
I mean,
think
you've
that,
got-
I don't think that
you've
they're
got the
telling the
Clint-
lies that you think they are.
You've got the Clinton News Network,
Which is what?
CNN.
The letters.
No, no.
All right, you got the left-leaning news media and you got the right-leaning news media. This has been common knowledge for decades now. Okay, CNN, MSNBC, and I don't care for any of them. I have to watch them because I have to keep up with what I can find out through Michigan and what's going on through the nation. Okay, I don't take anything as gospel from any of these news.
No, I
medias.
don't take it.
And
as
that
gospel.
means when I sit down and I have to watch Fox News and Newsmax and all these, I watch them because one part over here might be the same as what CNN is saying, and that's where I find out there's some minuscule part of truth that I have to go back and look up the real part of it.
and there's ways of hearing that, but when you
But
hear,
not from one. Not
when you
from
hear
just
Trump
one.
say, people are talking and everybody knows, and I heard this or I read this, yeah, well, you read it, so you believe it. Now, I don't
90%,
necessarily,
I think
I don't
90%
necessarily believe everything that CNN says, nor do I believe everything that MSNBC says. But I'll be damned if I'm... Now, there's some people on Fox that have, because there is a division there between your Hannitys and Tucker Carlsons and your... there are three reporters. They have three reporters there. One is...
Ingram?
No. Her? They keep taking
She's as
her
bad
off
as Rachel Maddow.
She's an idiot.
Rachel Maddow?
No.
Laura Ingraham?
Yeah.
They're both idiots.
Yeah.
I'd like to have one of them come on our show. I'd let them have it there too. It don't matter. They can have it here or there. I don't care.
I'm trying to think. I don't know their lineup that well.
Chris Wallace?
Didn't he disappear? No, that was
No.
Chris Matthews.
Oh, yeah, Chris Matthews, yeah. Oh,
He
was a
disappeared for a little
surprise.
while.
Yeah, you
He'd
know-
come on his show within 2 minutes. He says, "I'm retiring."
Yeah. I mean, he knew he'd done wrong.
He done goofed.
Yeah.
What was it? Something about he
No, there
said
were a
some
couple of
woman
things.
was attractive or something.
They're
was,
mostly
uh,
on-air gaffes. It wasn't nearly of the scale of some of the others.
Right.
But he probably
And,
felt like,
he said some
between...
things about Bernie, too.
He took a lot of heat he said implied Bernie was
Communist?
equivalent to Castro. He's going to kill people in Central Park. He compared the Bernie Sanders' success of the initial primaries to the loss of France in World War II. So he took it to a bit of an extreme and took a lot of heat for that. Then on top of his gaffes is what they really were. They were on air, most of them. And then he said, well, you know what?
I think Bernie screwed up when he started speaking good about Castro and all
Yeah.
that.
That was a tactical error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
mean,
'cause
that's-
for the longest time, he was leading the polls in every state.
He wasn't wrong that Obama said praise about much the same thing.
No, he's right. Obama did the same thing.
And that must have been very frustrating for him for that to be
you can go back to Capone.
thrown back upon him.
Right.
Capone used to have soup kitchens, but he also used to kill people too. I mean, had people.
The Italian
killed.
mafia.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're going to take the good and the bad.
Boy, we've hit a bunch of different subjects.
Yeah.
We've
just-
talked
Well,
mafia,
the subject that I wanted to
Capone,
stay on
Castro.
was
All
fact
the rabbit
that,
holes.
That Trump has got
I feel like we're playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah, Trump has got a system now where he just wants people that agree with him. That he wants to be told what he wants to be told, and when he speaks, they say, yes, sir, whatever you say, sir. And that is dangerous for all of us, Republicans as well as Democrats. There's a lot of Republicans that would really like to have him out, but because they don't want to lose their position, they won't say anything.
So what's your prediction for 2020?
I believe that Biden's going to win. However, we do have a problem because I do believe Russia, it will be involved. I do believe Russia wants Trump in. I do believe that there was business dealings before 2016 and that
I didn't ask that. I don't want to hear your conspiracy theories.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's
To me,
true.
it is.
No, it
I
isn't,
asked
because
what's
that's
going
how
on in
Tillerson got
2020.
in. So you're going to put me back on Tillerson?
No, I asked
There
you
is
what
a
your...
connection between
I don't care
Trump
if there's a connection.
and Putin.
I don't care. I asked you what your opinion is on 2020.
I want Biden to win.
You want Biden.
I tell you what, I'd want the dog catcher to win.
Right.
Anyone but Trump.
So that
And let me ask you something, just for the sake. Did Trump not bring some of this on himself? Is he not just arrogant,
everything he
pompous,
brings.
a bully?
he is. Schumer is. Adam
Schiff
is.
I got a problem.
Nancy Pelosi, she can't even control her own city. I mean, with all the stuff that's going on in San Francisco, you got human feces all over the sidewalks over there. You know, she's not taking care of her city. How is she? You know,
There's
she's
human feces
Either
all over the
way, I
sidewalk.
had to change the subject. Okay.
Yeah, there's
The reason I asked you that
Human
question,
feces all over the sidewalk.
yeah, in San Francisco.
yeah, there's actually some. It's kind of an unfortunate situation. Just the degree of
Los Angeles.
homelessness and drug problems. It's
Well, I think
such a densely
when
populated area
Trump went
in
there
a warm area.
and
I
he
mean,
complained
now-
about
I'm not going
he complained about the homeless
Well,
when he
I-
went there to collect $15 million.
I'm not going to lay that all at the feet of Pelosi just because the situation
No,
there
it's because
is
of
difficult.
the Democrat-run city.
Well, it's
And I'm a
because
Democrat,
it's
so don't
a-
ever forget. I might have been an independent
it's-
all my
it's a-
life.
it's
I'm
a
still a
temperate-
Democrat.
Wait a
It's-
minute,
it's a temperate
Democrat
place.
I'm just
city,
not true
and
blue.
homeless are because of Democrats.
You-
Guys,
you-
Is that what you're saying?
it's a temperate place where they can survive outside. There's a lot of drug problems there.
Yes.
There's just a lot of deep-seated social issues that go all the way back.
So-
I wouldn't lay it at the feet of,
Okay, so let me-
any one person.
He's
Sorry,
going to
really.
pick on me now. He
I'm going
wants
to pick on you now.
Okay, fire
So
away.
it's a temperate zone. So because
it-
it's a temperate zone, you can do it on the sidewalk. But here in Michigan, when it's cold,
It's,
where do you do it
means
there?
that there's going to be more people willing or able. I mean, willing's the wrong word because who would willingly be homeless? A very small number of people. But if you had no place to live, if you had no roof over your head, wouldn't you be more likely to go to a place that it would be easier to survive
Sure,
than
that's
Michigan
why
in the winter?
Hawaii's got a floating
Well,
population.
and that's
I mean,
part
I
of it.
saw that
It's
when I was
so
there.
the point is, it's a very densely populated area, and it's easier, because of the temperatures involved there. It's prone. It's a difficult situation
Okay,
that's
so-
generated not
It's a
only
sanctuary
through any
city, so
political
anybody
action.
can go there.
Okay, so my question is this: then when we have homeless, it sounds to me like it's a problem, but it's a human problem.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
So whether you're Democrat or Republican, so if you're Republican, look what the Democrats did. If you're a Democrat, the Republicans aren't helping the matter. The fact is, they're there, and they're not going anywhere if you're just going to go back and forth and point the finger at one another. And it isn't a Democratic problem. It isn't a Republican problem. This is a human being
Absolutely.
problem.
There's the addiction issues involved there. Many of them are addicts or become addicts. There's the mental illness problem where they can't function properly in society due to illnesses that are not being properly handled or treated by any government anywhere, in the country at least. And it makes it a terrible situation. It is
So
a human tragedy.
$25 billion to build a wall is more important than these people?
Well, I certainly don't think so. I mean, that would be something that I would prefer to address rather than the wall. I would spend the money on the homeless problem before.
The farmers.
Granted,
Now, something that bothered me this morning, which we had heard rumors about, it was Art Van. And Art Van did say that part of the problem was the tariffs that had come from China. Now, Walmart has also complained about that, so have other businesses. If you could sit him down, which you probably can't, and explain to him the difference between the tax and the tariff, I think that Biden
I'm
will.
gonna play devil's advocate here. I've done this with you before on the tariffs. The tariffs were put in place and basically starting a trade war between the U.S. and China to try and get a better treaty between the U.S. and China. Part of that treaty was to get intellectual property protection. Okay, phase one has that in there.
And what's the status of phase one?
As
It's
far
what?
as I know, it's passed.
Yeah, is it working?
Right now, we got coronavirus, so
How about Saturday when they announced the agreement with the Taliban?
that was
Is it
interesting.
working?
that was
Hard to say yet, isn't it?
the Taliban
One
was
hopes it
attacking
does.
an Afghan a site anyways in there, and the U.S. done an airstrike against the Taliban, kind of to break it up. Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. So how about Iran?
What about Iran?
Iran's-
They're blaming the U.S. for the coronavirus, saying that's how they got it inside there.
Iran right now has enough uranium to build a nuclear weapon. That was determined, yesterday or the day before. So what we had under Obama, it may not have been perfect, but it was a damn sight better than where we're at now. The bullying tactic, first of all...
I don't think we're in bad shape.
Let me tell you a sad story. When the Shah was taken out, and I think I said
late
this on
70s.
this, so
Yeah.
I was working with two guys that were from that region, and they said that in Iran, 60% of the population owned everything. Okay? But the 40% ran the country. And we said, wait a minute, if the 60% have all the wealth and all the power, then how is it the 40% runs the country? The 40% had nothing. So they had nothing to lose. As far as they're concerned, they'd burn the damn country down. And they lose nothing. The 60% wanted to protect themselves. And that's kind of where we're at now with Iran. Iran, the country is poor. I mean, what have they got to lose?
They're no threat to us.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
You don't think North Korea is a threat to us? Wait a minute, a new missile just was launched last week. You got to pay attention to this crap.
North Korea is not a threat to us.
Oh, North Korea is a threat to us.
How
do you
threat?
figure South Korea and Japan? Those are our allies.
If they attack South Korea or Japan, I don't think they'll do it because China will get all over North Korea.
You think so?
I know so.
China wants Japan. And North
China
Korea
and Japan don't like each other. They haven't for centuries
Yeah.
because they've been fighting for
Correct.
centuries, just like our
True.
Middle East
Very
has been
true.
fighting
Very true.
for centuries.
Very true. No argument there. But Russia, China, and North Korea would like the presence of the United States out. That was one of the things with NATO.
But it's not going to happen. We
Trump
have our
has
bases
made it
over there.
more easier for that to happen.
In the Middle East, yes.
No, even
South
Japan
Korea?
and South Korea don't trust us now as to what's going on.
I guarantee you they're hoping that we stick around.
Oh, maybe they hope we'll stay around. But North Korea now has the missiles. They can hit South Korea, and they have already sent a warning.
It doesn't matter. They won't do it.
Well, wait a minute.
China is
These
not
things
gonna
are
allow-
happening
They have not struck any of these places.
yet.
No, they've launched them over them.
Yet.
You really think Kim Jong-un is that stupid? I don't even think the U.S. would have to step in. I think China would, President Xi Jinping would
Xi?
step in there,
It's not
would
to China's,
take him out.
It's not advantageous to China for anything of that catastrophic level to happen because China gets their power through their trade,
And that's us.
and us and other parts of the world. That's where they're building. They're engaging. I agree with you. They're seizing stuff left, right, and center. But they are much more clever about it than humanity tends
Well,
to
first
be.
of all,
They
they're
aren't going in there and taking over. They are doing it financially and through debt in poor regions. They're taking over ports financially.
Yes.
This has been their plan. And if you have this massive economy disruption catastrophe, that doesn't serve the
As
interests
a
of
matter
China.
of fact, I was talking with someone in Kroger, as a matter of fact, coming in here. We were talking about the Panama Canal. Now, I was really pissed when Carter gave it back to the Panamanians because we built it, we maintained it. I felt that we should have kept it, or at least kept some
Rights.
rights to it, yes. But he gave it back. The Panamanians have since sold it to the Chinese. The Chinese, at any given moment, could shut that down. The Chinese are all over in Africa for the minerals and the oil and whatever they have there. Now,
They're a world economy, just like
yes,
we are.
when we gave up TPP, they took that over. When we gave up the deal, the climate deal, they jumped in.
Peace accord?
Or the Paris?
Paris.
The
Paris,
Climate
yeah.
Accord? Okay.
They took that over. China is moving faster and faster and faster. I believe that China, if they had their way, would get us out of there. And I don't think they would care.
No. China and the United States are too intermingled. Okay? They rely on each other.
You don't think the New World Order would bring us down?
New World Order?
Yeah,
We're back to the New World Order?
Your Erdogan, your Duarte,
No.
your Sisi, your
Right now, the only
Putin.
country that has any capability of getting the U.S. strictly involved is Russia and China. Those are the only two countries. If something was major to go down, those are the only two that could really
And
provoke the
who
United
is
States.
Iran's ally?
Who?
Who is Iran allied with?
Russia.
Yeah.
Iran's not a threat to anybody right now except for Afghanistan and Iraq, right in their area. Okay? Jerusalem, Israel's right there, but Israel has more power than Iran does, militarily wise. And not only that, again, the U.S. is backing them. We don't have no
disagree
fear.
with you. I disagree.
As
with
strong
you.
as our military is, I mean, China has a billion-man army. The only, I think India does too.
What was the words that Chiang Kai-shek during Vietnam said? For every 10 of my people you kill, I'll kill one of yours, and I'll still beat you. And China could do the same thing. And I think China has way more power than what you think.
Oh, I know they do.
And I believe
they're a lot stronger
I
than what
believe
a lot of people
that
know.
if we were to fight a war, hopefully this will never happen,
I hope
to
not.
defend Japan and South Korea, I don't think it's going to go the way you think it will.
Japan and South Korea were to get in a war with China, like you're saying,
If they were tried to
we
take them
we
over.
could still sit back and watch.
All I'm
No,
imagining now.
I'm saying, do you think that we could defend them with Russia and China and North Korea?
Yes.
You think we could?
Yes.
I'm no general. All I'm imagining is that scene from The Princess Bride where he's sitting there going, "You've made one of the classic blunders, the first of which is never fight a land war in Asia. And the second of which is never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line." Which is
I think
hilarious.
that
Great movie.
what Trump
Great
has done
movie.
is
but
brought our military
let's,
down.
He has not brought our military down.
Let's,
our military is stronger than it ever has been.
go back to the 2020
We are
election.
so advanced.
You originally,
Uh,
a few rabbit holes ago, you were going to tell us why you asked Dave that question. And
I even lost track of it. This is the
filed
old
that
age
away.
part. It went
I
out.
filed that away and said, "Why
The
do you
reason
want
I
to know
asked
that?"
that is
We got
because
five.
I've gone through many statistics and numbers. Okay. Trump is going to win 2020. Okay. He wanted Bernie Sanders in there because then he could blow the socialists all out of the water and point to he wants a socialist government, which socialism has not survived anywhere. That's where I was going with the 2020 question, because I know Dave. Dave, we're good friends, and we can get into it here on the show, and when we walk out, it's still the same good friends as we always have been. But that's where it was. Now, Biden is a different beast. I think they're trying to set it up so that Biden, they're going to give him a female vice president, prepper. In 2 years, they're going to throw Biden to the dogs underneath the 25th Amendment, and she'll become the president. Now, I heard somebody on, I want to say it was Mark Stein today. I do not like him. He falls in for, I listen to a bunch of different radio shows, conservative and liberal.
Stein is the old Nixon guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was stating on there that if they pull a president out under the 25th Amendment and it's just after the second year, they can get 10 years out of it. I don't know if that's true or not.
And you think that Biden might be taken out under the 25th Amendment, and Trump, with the stuff that he says and the things that he does?
Biden doesn't even know which state he's in half the time. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if he
Yeah, but
comes here to
Trump
Michigan.
lies about what state he's in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Biden comes here to Michigan and thinks he's in Wisconsin. So,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Biden is somebody that I think will bring the country together, will
Biden,
give us
when
stability.
Biden, when he was a young man in the Senate, he was around some of the oldest white nationalists back then. I can't think of who it was.
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, because at one point we had Ku Klux Klan that were in our
Yes,
Senate and
true.
Congress, and Biden was friends with all them.
Yeah, but they worked together. Even though he didn't go up and say, "Well, KKK, yeah, I support them." He didn't do that. But
At
they
one
did
point
work-
he did.
They did work together.
The advantage that Biden has, that Trump has as well, is Trump got elected. Everyone knew already this bad crap about him. It was
Yep.
baked into the pie. Biden's the
You
exact
mean
same
that,
way.
his father was KKK?
I'm just saying everything. They elected him anyway. I'm not going to draw allusions to anything.
No, but I wanted to say that.
Biden has the exact. Biden's got the exact same advantage. All this crap's already known about him. It's already baked in. So there's not. What's the old? There's nothing new under the sun. Well,
No, I just think
true
that,
of these two guys. We pretty
his
much
demeanor,
know
the
their
way
histories.
he handles things. Now, yeah,
All right,
he
the
has
next
some
show
gaffes-
we're going to leave Trump completely out of it.
Oh, hell no.
We got to stay with
Is that
just
even
Michigan because
possible?
I've got things to deal with what went
Okay.
home.
All right.
She's no longer Whitmer to me. She's Whithome because where she's taken our
Oh,
state,
I see what you did there.
Jennifer Granholm, Gretchen Whitmer, they're almost one of a kind. And
right.
I've got plenty to deal with on her with her $15 minimum wage and everything else that's going on.
Well, I think our time is up.
All right.
We always have such a good time.
Yeah, that was wonderfully entertaining.
Again, all we want you to do is think. We aren't telling you what to think. We bring up different things. You never know what's going to come out. But
Yeah, there's never a teleprompter or
No,
cue
no.
cards. It's always just what's there.
No, and it's opinion, and it's something that, you at home take this argument and finish it for us.
You can call us crazy old fools too.
Yeah.
Either way.
In 2 weeks, we can come up with names for Trump because I think it's only fair. If he's going to come up with names, I think, President PP, the Trumpster, Trump's a rump. I think Trump needs a name. He needs a name that we can associate with him. He's so generous to give them to everybody else.
How about just president? Show respect for the office.
No.
I try. You asked.
Right
See
now,
the brick
I
wall
don't have
coming,
a president.
and here it comes, and there it is.
My president right now is still Obama by extension. And then now, if like I said, if a different
Whoever's the
Republican
president
had
in
won,
there is my president. I don't care if
no.
I like him or dislike him.
No, I did do
deal
that
the
with,
life. They deal with
Bush.
They deal with
As much
our.
as I-
They deal with our
American.
economy, our life, and everything.
as
so
much as I
as long as I can survive, I don't care who the
disagreed
president
with
is.
Bush, he was the president, and I did respect that, but not this joker.
Again. We want you to think. We want you to do your own assessment and homework so that you understand where we're coming from. But yet, it's your opinion, not ours. We give our voice and our opinion on the show, but again, we walk out of here and our friends, adversaries while we're in here.
I mean, we can do this here and we can argue, but we do stay friends.
Yes.
But this climate is not like that with everybody, and that is sad.
It is.
And I think hopefully after 2020, it will get better.
I hope the economy keeps growing.
Well, we all hope the economy keeps growing. Who the hell?
That's the only good thing.
Who the hell would? Well, you mean that not like Trump Jr. said?
Have a good night.